Okay, your worship, it looks like we are back if you would like to resume.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to resume. We left off at section 12.1 correspondence. So 12.1.1 to receive for information, 3 items. Item A, notice of passing of zoning bylaw amendment ZBA 0422, Vienna Farms Limited. Item B, notice of passing of zoning bylaw amendment ZBA 0322, Bonneville. And item C, notice of public meeting for proposed zoning bylaw amendment Latimer. Is there any questions regarding any of these pieces of correspondence? Seeing none, then I'd entertain a mover and seconder for the following, that items 12.1.1A through C be received for information. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Prose will move, Councillor Chilcott will second. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 12.2, reports to council. We have report DS 0123 by Margaret Underhill, Deputy Clerk Planning Coordinator, regarding draft plan of subdivision application 34T BY 2022-01 1128 Properties Inc. Eden. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, your worship and council. The report before you is for consideration of a draft plan of subdivision. The application has been put forward by 1128 Properties Inc. for a subdivision in Eden. The purpose of the application is to look at 33 single detached residential lots. And the proposal would be on municipal sanitary sewers and private on-site water services. There were several items of correspondence that were received at the public meeting held June 2nd. The correspondence items are attached to the report and they have been included for council's information. The main focus of the comments was concern for the partial servicing, namely concern for water quantity and quality with private wells. In regards to that, water quality and quantity, there was a hydrogeologic evaluation submitted. It was peer reviewed, and that peer review was completed in October of 2022, and it did confirm the adequacy of on-site water services with recommended conditions. Along with the application, there was a functional servicing report. The report did bring to our attention that the full build out of the proposal would put our sanitary system at a 93% capacity. This had the municipality quickly realize that we needed to do a study, update the study actually, of the 2020 sewage capacity study to look at the capacity in Eden as well as along the system. That study was presented to council on December the 1st, 2022 by Peter Penner of CJDL. In the meantime, municipal staff did have a discussion and met with the 1128 property owners regarding the capacity. The owners are agreeable to develop their property in 2 phases, phase 1 with 23, phase 2 with 10 lots. Phase 1 can be accommodated with the current capacity of the Eden pump station, and it does still leave opportunity for minimal development in Eden. Phase 2 capacity would be addressed when the 2nd phase is ready to proceed. In response to the other concerns that were received at the public consultation, the IBI group memorandum dated September 2nd included with the report does speak to these concerns, as well as give an analyzation of the application against the PPS 2020, the Elgin County Official Plan, the Planning Act, BAM's Official Plan and Zoning Bylaw. So in conclusion, the staff and planner, we do recommend support of the draft plan of subdivision in principle, and there are recommended conditions included in the report as noted. There are 21 conditions in the recommendation. These conditions were reviewed by staff. They were reviewed by the county planner, and we have included them in the report for council's consideration of this application. So I will leave it with you, your worship, to continue from here.
Thank you for that report, Mark. Any questions for staff on this particular file?
I have some.
Counselor Emerson.
To you and through you, your worship. I was kind of particularly offended by a comment in the last meeting, and it got me looking into policy objectives of the provincial government and county and even us, and we look at policy statement for planning. And we're supposed to be building diverse and inclusive communities. And in that, we are supposed to provide the various types of housing and arrangements. And even our plan is saying to, I don't like using the word affordable because they're not affordable, but let's say maybe attainable, Thomas's word. So out of 33 lots, I don't see anything that might have anything. Oh, and considering that the average income per household in the municipality of Bayham is less than 60,000. 33 single detached units is not accessible to the majority of the or at least half of the population here. So I kind of think that we have limited capacity for the sewage system. And because Bill 23 is limiting our ability for service charges and everything, and it's us as property taxpayers and residents in the municipality should have some say and conditions on what type of housing is built in the municipality. I would kind of hope at somewhere at some point that this 20% lofty goal we can attain, but if you had 6 units or 3 units that were duplexes or townhouses, it would better serve the need of the current residents instead of the people that will be moving to these residents to become residents. So I think that when we go forward planning, that we should keep in mind that we're supposed to be an inclusive community, and that as we develop, we don't make it exclusive properties like Port Stanley has become, for example, and we include the residents and people that are moving here as one big project. So that is my comment for this. And I don't think I can support any development that does not include some kind of townhouse or row house or duplex. So that's where I stand on this.
Thank you for those comments, Councilor Emerson. I just want to clarify, I assume you're talking about multi-unit development.
That's right.
Okay.
I see many subdivisions around Tillsonburg that have multi-unit components in them. I see them in Elmer. I see them in lots of other communities. And as we move forward, I think we have to keep in mind the income status and that of the current residents in the municipality. We should be, everybody that's here should be able to participate in some form in home ownership.
All right, thank you for your comments. Any other comments from Deputy Mayor Weiser?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, perhaps to Margaret, just in listening to Councillor Emerson's comments, has any of those comments been communicated with the development owners? Like, is that something that you think they would be amenable to consider, or are we kind of past that stage?
Through your worship, initially in the original conversations and pre-con, there was talk about affordable housing. There's policies in our OP, there's policies in the county OP, but they are, unfortunately, they are vague. They're not clear. Both the county and ourselves, as we start our OP review, we will be looking at that section of our OP. The county is also looking at theirs. So as far as further conversation with the applicant, no, there has not been.
Thank you for that. Any other questions, comments? Particularly pertaining to this file? Okay. We have a rather. You need to speak up, Deputy Mayor. Sometimes you're visible and sometimes not.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. I just don't know where to really ask this question. It's in one of the comments that was made by one of the residents in the public comment section. It really doesn't have to do with the application per se, but I am curious as to, the comment was specifically around the parkland in Eden and perhaps fencing that parkland. I know that that really doesn't have anything to do with this development. However, I do think that that's worth noting. If there was some way we could figure out how to identify what part of that park is actually municipal property and what is not. And I wasn't sure where I would bring that up.
All right, thank you for those comments.
Sort of I'm a little bit confused. I'm assuming we're talking about the Eden Community Park behind the old community center. Is that would be on the other side of the street? That would not be adjacent to the parcel that we're discussing. So that comment might be
Yes.
something a little to discuss with the development that comes on across the street. This one is on the east side, the park's on the west side, so not directly applicable at this point.
Thank you for that. But I will acknowledge that was the comment received. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there anything else from any member of council? Councilor Chilcott.
Thank you. This is more of a question for Tim. Counselor Emerson. You suggested multi-unit buildings. Are you talking duplexes? Because of course
I-
buildings
Okay,
are rented, right? And
no, you can sell a condo, you can sell a
True.
duplex, you can sell.
true, but what makes them affordable after the first person buys it? That's
The
the
size.
stump that I come into it.
The size of the lot, they won't command the same price as a house, and I'm not saying affordable, I'm saying attainable, because.
Right.
If you add 6 units out of that whole development, that would be the 20%, and that would be somebody who is. In this area, driving to town to work and working, 2 people working in the factory could actually afford to buy that unit.
I'm with you on getting affordable or attainable housing. I'm just,
Even
every
that's
time I've
not
asked
attainable,
about it, every
right?
time I've asked about it, I've been told that's fine for the first buy. You can maybe keep the price low, but when that person sells it, what's stopping them from raising the price so that
supply.
it's no longer attainable?
So as I see it, when we have 33 units or any amount of units that come on in a subdivision and we're not concluding our economic situation, then we are providing units to ease the pressure off of some other metropolitan area, not because those most likely will be bought by not locals, but by people moving to this area to get a leg up from $1 million house in Kitchener to whatever dollar house here. So I don't see how the 390 hookups left in the sewage system, I don't see how that's beneficial to current residents in our municipality.
Yeah, the only benefit is tax base. Sorry.
I appreciate the exchange and I've been fairly forgiving, but please address everything through the chair.
So, sorry.
Councilor Froze.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't have a question?
No, I was turning up my volume. Sorry. I do have questions, but I don't think it specifically pertains to this file.
All right, thank you. We'll reserve that for later then. Anything else particular to this file? Art, you have a very lengthy resolution here, 2.5 pages. Would you be so honored as to read that for us,
Would you care to take turns?
if you wish?
No, I will
Every
do
other
that.
clause or-
If you'd like, Mark, I can read the motion for you.
No, I can do it. Thank you for the offer, but through the chair, if it's okay, I'll
Please do.
fire away. Okay. All right, so the recommendation is that staff report DS-01/23 regarding the draft plan of subdivision 34T BY 20-02201 for 1128 Properties Inc. be received for information. And that pursuant to Planning Act Regulations, Bill 73, Smart Growth for Our Communities Act 2015, it be pointed out that at the public participation meeting held June 2nd, 2022, associated with this application, verbal and written submissions were received. and that all considerations regarding this matter were taken into account in council's decision passing this resolution. And that council supports the 33 lot draft plan of subdivision to be developed in 2 phases. Phase 1, 23 lots, and phase 2, 10 lots in principle. And that council requests the county of Elgin consider including the following as conditions of draft plan approval. 1, that the owner shall provide a proposal for phase development of the subject property, including all final plans showing the development of a 33 lot subdivision in 2 phases. Phase 1 with 23 lots and phase 2 with 10 lots. 2, prior to the development of phase 1 with 23 lots, that the owner is responsible to obtain confirmation from the municipality that there is sufficient capacity of the sanitary sewer system in Eden to provide adequate sanitary sewer services to the subdivision. 3, upon the completion of phase 1 and prior to the development of phase 2 with 10 lots, the owner is responsible to obtain confirmation from the municipality that there is sufficient capacity of the sanitary sewer system in Eden to provide adequate sanitary sewer services to the subdivision. 4, that the owner shall provide confirmation through a desktop review regarding the potential for the subject property development along with existing and or known proposed future development projects within the hamlet of Eden to result in long-term impacts to the sustainable yield of groundwater from the overburdened aquifer or to significantly decrease base flow to any sensitive water courses as described in section 4.3.3 of MECP procedure D55 to the satisfaction of the municipality. 5, that the owner shall provide confirmation regarding the need for resampling of test well 3 after disinfection by chlorination and subsequent performance of additional pumping to cycle sufficient water to flush any residual chlorine and stagnant water from the well bore, sand pack, and aquifer to assess whether the presence of total coliforms and or background coliforms is persistent to the satisfaction of the municipality. 6, that the owner shall provide a servicing report for a multi-well simultaneous pumping test utilizing a minimum of 3 wells drilled on adjacent lots during after phase 1 of the development, and that it be conducted to empirically verify the calculations and conclusions provided in the amended hydrogeologic evaluation prepared by E&D Wilson Associates Limited and dated March 26, 2021, and amended Second Amendment on August 3rd, 2022, and to evaluate cumulative drawdown impacts simulating well usage by multiple properties at the same time, and to confirm that the proposed density is acceptable to the satisfaction of the municipality. 7, that the streets on the draft plan should be named to the satisfaction of the municipality. 8, that the proposed streets A and B on the draft plan shall be constructed in phase 1 to municipal design and construction standards to provide connection to Plank Road, County Road 19, shall be dedicated as open public road prior to final approval. 9, that any open sides of road allowances created by this draft plan shall be terminated in 0.3 meter reserves to be conveyed to and held in trust by the municipality as applicable. 10, that the owner shall provide easements as many as may be required for services, utility, or drainage purposes in a form satisfactory to the municipality or utility. 11, that the owner design and construct to provide adequate future connection to the municipal sewers for phase 1 and phase 2 lots, and that the subdivision agreement shall make provision for the assumption and operation by the municipality of Bayham of the sanitary sewer system within the draft plan, subject to the approval of the municipality. 12, prior to final approval, the owner shall submit for approval detailed servicing plans designed in accordance with the municipality of Bayham design and construction standards to the satisfaction of the municipality. 13, that the owner enters into a subdivision agreement containing provisions for the timing of the development of 2 phases pursuant to the authority of the Planning Act as amended with the municipality of Bayham, wherein the owner agrees to satisfy all the requirements, financial and otherwise, of the municipality of Bayham concerning the installation of services, including roads, utilities, stormwater management facilities, and fire protection required for the development of the lands within the plan with securities. 14, that prior to any grading or construction of the site and prior to final approval, the owner shall submit the following. A final stormwater management report to be submitted to the municipality and Long Point Region Conservation Authority for review and approval. B, an erosion and siltation control plan to the satisfaction of the municipality and Long Point Region Conservation Authority for review and approval. C, a final lot grading and drainage plan to the satisfaction of the municipality and Long Point Conservation Authority for review and approval. D, completion of any necessary applications under the Drainage Act to provide a legal outlet for stormwater use. 15, That any environmental protection measures recommended in the stormwater management plan required by condition 14 above that are not capable of being addressed under the Ontario Water Resources Act be implemented through the subdivision agreement. 16, that any lands containing the stormwater treatment system are to be assumed by the municipality at the cost of the owner. 17, the subdivision agreement shall include provisions that require the owner to establish sidewalks and streetlights at no cost to the municipality of Bayham to the satisfaction of the municipality of Bayham design and construction standards, including a sidewalk along Plank Road, providing connection to the existing sidewalk along East Side Plank Road, County Road 19, to the satisfaction of the County of Elgin. 18, that the H2 holding symbol is removed by way of zoning bylaw amendment to ensure orderly development through a subdivision agreement between the owner and the municipality, which addresses financial and servicing impacts of new development to the municipality. 19, that prior to final approval, the owner provide an adequate guaranteed water supply system necessary for fire protection to the satisfaction of the municipality fire chief. 20, that the owner provides cash in lieu of parkland in accordance with the municipality of Bayham cash in lieu of parkland bylaw 2020-053. And finally, 21, that the subdivision agreement between the owner and the municipality be registered against the lands to which it applies once the plan of subdivision has been registered. Your worship.
Thank you. Having heard the motion, we have a mover and seconder. Councillor Chilcott will move. Councillor Froze will second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Big thank you for that.
Welcome.
You need a drink of water?
Yes.
Moving on with item B, report DS 0223 by Thomas Thayer, CEO clerk, regarding building services, fourth quarter report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this fourth quarter report comes forward to summarize the Building Services Department permitting for Q4 2022 and provide some information regarding 2022 year end total permits issued. The report identifies that in Q4 2022, there was a decrease in the number of permits issued, permit fees, construction value. And in fact, this was the first quarter in over the last 6 years where no permits were issued for houses. So we are starting to see a market decrease in building activity, likely due to increasing interest rates. Second table denotes total building permits for 2022. We did see a slight decrease in number of permits issued from 2020 and 2021. This also translated into a slight decrease in permitting fees from 2021. Although the numbers are fairly consistent. What the numbers will I guess illustrate when considered with the first table is that the first 3 quarters of the year were fairly busy with respect to building activity, but Q4 was indeed quite a bit slower. With respect to drainage works, 2 tables identify drainage works for Q4. Hampton Drain is continuing with the reassessment per previous direction from the Court of Revision. The new drain that was petitioned for the Peters Drain extension is still going through engineer review and assessment through SPREET as directed by council. And drain maintenance was conducted on Bartley Drain A and B for regular maintenance and to clear a backup tile and outlet. Information provided by the manager of public works and drainage superintendent. So with that, the information is before council to receive for information and I'm available for questions.
Well, thank you for that report. Does anyone have any questions for Thomas? Seeing no questions, I would simply make the comment that it's not surprising, the fourth quarter drop off, as you say, in activity. It is still astounding, though, look at the level of activity over the last 3 years relative to prior years. And, it even is more astounding when you consider the fact that the latest census indicates we have a shrinking population. And we still continue to have more infrastructure. So it is an encouraging report. And I think, if you think the fact that, you just added $28 million worth of, asset value to the municipality. And when it comes online with, current assessment values, it should mean something for us. Okay. Seeing no other comments or questions, then, motion would read that staff report DS 0223 regarding fourth quarter report be received for information. I need a mover and seconder, please. Counselor Chilcott will move, Counselor Froze will second, all in favor. That is carried. Thank you. Moving on with section 13, finance and administration, 13.1 correspondence, and 13.11 to receive for information. We have item A, the town of Newmarket regarding Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022. Item B, town of West Lincoln regarding Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022. Item C, city of Cambridge regarding Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022. Item D, municipality of North Perth regarding Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022. Item E, municipality of Tweed regarding natural gas. F, county of Elgin regarding the December 2022 economic development newsletter. And item G, LPRCA correspondence or response regarding the 2023 draft budget correspondence. Does anyone have any questions, comments on any of the correspondence? Deputy Mayor Weiser.
Yes, thank you through you, Mr. Mayor. Page 175, the information item D from North Perth. I do have to say, just a comment on that, is probably one of the best written that I have ever seen on Bill 23. North Perth has a population of approximately 13,000. And I think they, many of the conversations we've had around our horseshoe are in this body of this report, and they've addressed them perfectly. I would really like to see Bayham support this letter, and I would be happy and more than willing to put that motion forward that we support it as well.
All right, is anyone willing to second support of that? Councillor Emerson will. All right, just keeping that on hold for a moment. Is there any other questions or any other piece of correspondence anyone wishes to bring attention to? Councillor Chilcott.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that what's new in Elgin, December 2022 is interesting the way they flag the people that have done well and announce the businesses, and might be something that we could try to do for ourselves, either on our website or in a newsletter, to flag the businesses in Bayham that are doing well or helping out or starting up.
Definitely an idea to be brought forward and considered for sure. Or if you'd like, I could put a word in and see if we can get Elgin's tourism business unit to take a stronger scrutiny of Bayham.
That would be very well done, because it goes out further,
Well,
brings more people, Elgin County brings more people in. More people see it.
the point I'm trying to make is that Elgin County, through the Economic Development Unit, has better resources than what we do, that we are part of the confederation, so to speak. So they will be in on us from time to time.
All of them.
All of Bayham,
All of
all of Bayham. Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, now, so. Deputy Mayor Weiser, you were willing to move, not only that the information be received, but that the municipality of Bayham support item D, the municipality of North Perth regarding Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act. You're willing to second that, Councillor Emerson?
Yes, I am, sir.
Got something crafted, or do you like what I said?
Mr. Mayor, the motion would read that correspondence items 13.1.1 A through G be received for information. That the council of the corporation municipality of Bayham support correspondence item 13.1.1 D.
All right, having heard the motion, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 13.12. Requiring action, Desi Broughton regarding corporal ice rink. Who wants to speak to that?
Mr. Mayor, I can provide comment. Fire chief is also here as well. So the Station One firefighter, along with the Station One Association, are requesting permission from the municipality to locate a skating rink on the Port Burwell Ball Diamond for the balance of the winter, including access to the lighting. Similar request that came forward from the SHF for the rink that's being constructed out on the concrete pad at the SCC. This is also a rink that was erected last year and has been in place previously. So recommendation from staff would be to approve this request.
Okay, any concerns or questions from council members? Okay, the motion would read that correspondence from Desi Broughton regarding the Port Burwell skating rink be received for information, and that the request to utilize the Port Burwell baseball diamond and access to hydro for an outdoor skating rink be approved. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Chilcott will move. Councillor Emerson will second. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Thirteen point two, reports to council. Item A, report CAO 02-23 by Thomas Thayer, CEO clerk, regarding the Port Burwell Lighthouse Heritage and Structural Assessment. Thomas?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this report comes forward as a follow-up to previously received report CAO 6322 regarding the previously received heritage cladding assessment report that was provided by A-Link Architecture. That report identified 4 items that council may wish to proceed with, including a full architectural and cladding review, structural report, soil test report, topographical survey. The report also identified the removal of the existing vinyl application. So at the we move forward with receiving some costing that was identified as the motion that was passed for the report. In accordance with that, on December 21st, A-Link was able to provide a formal proposal for the heritage assessment, structural assessment, which would include digital scanning services to support the heritage assessment. Proposal is attached to the report. The soil test and updated topographical survey were handled operationally in Q4. The report also does identify and make council aware once more that we did receive approval of a $100,000 grant through the Southwest Tourism Relief Fund for works at the lighthouse, with the provision that the works be completed prior to the end of 2022. With respect to the proposal, it covers 2 of the 4 recommended processes. So it covers the architectural review and it covers the structural review. Total proposed costing is $19,935. Should council opt to proceed, outstanding works would take 6 weeks and would be capped with a report. So this would have a report in front of council likely in March of this year. Staff are recommending proceeding with the proposal as it will provide council with more information, and hopefully enough information to move forward with development of conservation and ongoing maintenance plans for the lighthouse. Regarding the STRF grant, staff have confirmed 2 points, that the grant cannot be extended past December 31st. However, that any background works regarding studies for future lighthouse works are eligible under the funding package, as long as these costs were incurred and invoiced prior to year end. So in accordance, in November, we obtained costing and completed the soil test and topographical survey updates. So total cost for these works were approximately $9,000 that will be recouped through the STRF, including the previously received heritage cladding assessment report. Total costs to recoup are approximately $14,200. The survey has since been provided to A-Link for their use moving forward. Should council opt to approve the proposal, once more, the proposal is attached and that staff are recommending that council accept the proposal and that we move forward with A-Link on further architectural and structural evaluation. I'll leave it with you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for the report, Thomas. Any questions for staff?
Through you, your worship,
Yes.
there's a lot of words fast. I just kind of wonder, what are we in for the municipality as far as dollars go at this point?
At this point in time, we've incurred $14,200. We can recoup that through our Southwest Tourism Relief Fund grant. So we'll receive that back. And the proposal is for 19,935 in additional comprehensive heritage assessment, including a full structural evaluation of the lighthouse. So those are the next steps. The previous report received identified that because it is a heritage asset, we should have a conservation and maintenance plan in place to ensure that we're maintaining the heritage asset into the future in accordance with Heritage Act regulations. And this is just another step in the process to get there.
Awesome, thank you.
Did I see your hand up, Deputy Mayor?
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. I think Thomas just answered that question. I just wanted to reconfirm that this will have a maintenance program outline in the body of that report so that we can do, we know what we're up against in future years.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the Deputy Mayor. My understanding is that this will identify the nature of the heritage aspects of the lighthouse, including their current condition, and will identify short-term works that have to be addressed. At that time, A-Link will provide further information regarding conservation and maintenance going forward, recommendations. I do not believe that that will be included in this particular report. It may be ancillary to it. This one is specifically to address the condition of the heritage features of the lighthouse, including the structure of the building.
Okay, Councillor Froze?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we are well over $100,000 in debt, or should we proceed with not getting the grant and the full grant? We're getting 14,000 apparently. So should we proceed? I'm a little baffled. Are we going to be in that much better shape with the lighthouse doing all these studies than if we had just gone forward and finished it out the way it was? I'm a little baffled with all these studies, but I know it's too late. But as a municipality, and if I do the math in my head, we lost 83,000 and change because we didn't do the work in time. And now we're 19,000, and then we're going to pay for all the work yet. I guess where do dollars make sense? And I know I appreciate the heritage part of it though. Like I'm not dissing that. I'm just we can do studies for the next 20 years and it'll still be a building that's built in the 1800s and the foundation is cracking and there's not much we can do about it, right?
Well, not.
I know that's not so much a question, it's kind of more of a frustrated comment, sorry.
Appreciate your comments, Councillor Froze. I would argue that if we have the studies in hand, it identifies what must be done in order to preserve that structure. Otherwise, we would be guesswork, and I think the comment before it was put out there was putting lipstick on a pig. Yes.
Just through you, Mr. Mayor, just one other comment as well. The previously received heritage assessment did identify that through comprehensive review, we may not have to approach this as a full, say, recladding of the lighthouse. They fully recommend that any conservation and maintenance be done as spot rehabilitation and repair as needed. So in fact, costs may actually be cheaper rather than doing a full comprehensive recladding lighthouse. That of course does wait to be seen, but that was identified in the previous report. And I just want to reiterate that for council's information.
Okay, anything else from council members?
Just another short comment, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Sure, go ahead.
That'll be interesting to hear and see what the public has to say about that if they get wind of this. That we're not going to fix the whole thing. We're only going to partially fix it, but I guess if an engineer says it, we should be good, right?
we'll wait and see what the comments come in as, but at the same time, if the studies identify that you don't need to replace the whole cladding, but simply take remedial measures to preserve what's there and replace only those portions or portions that need attention, then I think what the CAO is trying to suggest is that in the long run, it might actually be cheaper than the original plan. So until we know through the investigative study, and it'd be interesting as well, because that investigative study will also provide you with 3D mapping and other components which we haven't had before. You know, and this is it'll be interesting as hell, to be honest with you. Yeah, Councillor Chilcott.
Thank you. So basically, the report is telling us what minimally has to be done in order to keep the building sound. And we will continue to look for grants in that to help fund it, will we not?
That would be the assumption, I would assume, yes.
Through you, Mr. Mayor to Council. So the expectation would be that any recommendations coming forward from the reports with respect to conservation and maintenance would be consistent with heritage practices for these types of buildings and would give us a guidepost going forward for what we should be doing to ensure that the building continues as a heritage asset into the future. But yes, we will also to augment any sort of capital repairs or operating. We will be looking into grants as we always do for various operating and capital measures. So that would be no different.
Okay. Anything else? All right, the motion reads a report CAO 0223 regarding Port Burwell Lighthouse Heritage and Structural Assessment be received for information. And that council accept the proposal for Heritage Architectural Services for the Port Burwell Lighthouse recladding project, cladding review, structural report, and preparation of existing condition drawings in the amount of $19,933 or $35. We have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Emerson will move. Councillor Chilcott will second. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. All right, that concludes the open portion of the meeting. We're going to be moving into an in-camera session. We will call the motion and then proceed. The council do now rise to enter into an in-camera session at 8:15 PM to discuss confidential report regarding labor relations, employee negotiations, shared services. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Chilcott, Deputy Mayor Weisler, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you.